Hello, welcome or welcome back. It's really good to see you. I hope that you're doing well today. My name is Vix and this is my channel, Goddess of Gore, where I like to talk about horror, thriller, fantasy and sci-fi books. I know that the month is well over halfway, but let's talk about the 21 new books that are coming out this month that I am very excited about, shall we? So as always, I will go through the books in the order that they are released here in the UK, the genre they are listed as, and our brief synopsis, starting with a biggie. The Only One Left by Riley Sager comes out on the 4th, a dark mystery thriller. In the year 1929, the Maine coast was shaken by the gruesome murders of the Hope family, forever staining their name. 17-year-old Leonora Hope, widely assumed to be the culprit, has never publicly addressed the accusations. Confined to an eerie mansion called Hope's End, where the tragic massacre unfolded, Leonora remains silent about that fateful night. Fast forward to 1983, community care worker Kit McDeary is assigned to care for the ageing Leonora, who is now in her 70s and bound to a wheelchair after strokes have robbed her of her speech. Their means of communication is limited to an old typewriter on which Leonora taps out sentences to express herself. One night, Leonora presents Kit with a tantalising proposition. She wishes to divulge the full truth. Though Leonora proclaims her innocence, suspicion lingers as she is the sole survivor of the massacre. As Kit assists Leonora in documenting the events leading up to that tragic night, it becomes evident that the story is more intricate than previously believed. However, as Kit uncovers the details surrounding the abrupt departure of her predecessor, doubts arise about the veracity of Leonora's narrative. The seemingly harmless woman under Kit's care may harbour secrets far more dangerous than imagined. The world perceives Leonora Hope as a mass murderer, but the truth may be far more elusive. Confined by her physical limitations, Leonora seizes the opportunity to share her untold story, using her one functioning finger to type the words, "I want to tell you everything." How good does that sound? Next is The Others of Edenwell by Verity Holloway. Also on the 4th, this is a horror novel told from the unsettling atmosphere of an isolated Norfolk retreat during the early 1900s. A sinister historical horror unfolds. Freddie finds himself unable to enlist in the army due to a heart condition, so instead he resides and works alongside his father on the premises of the Edenwell Hydropathic, a wellness sanctuary nestled within the Norfolk Broads. While Freddie prefers the companionship of birds, the distinctive individuals populating the spa, soaking themselves in its healing waters, fail to capture his interest. However, Freddie's avian confidants, who he thinks he communicates with, reveal disturbing premonitions of impending murder. Eustace, a troublemaker yearning to escape his affluent family and join the war effort, is sent to Edenwell by his mother, who hopes to shield him from the horrors of the trenches. Dr. Chalice, the American owner of the Hydropathic, instructs Eustace to befriend Freddie. As their friendship develops and they confront their own personal demons, the duo stumble upon a lifeless body and become aware of a terrifying presence lurking in the woods. The once sanctified halls of the spa become tainted by the haunting presence of a woodland beast, prompting the boys to realise that they may be the only ones capable of defending Edenwell against this monstrous entity. Then on the 6th, an urban fantasy Ink Blood Sister Scribe by Emma Torzs. This mesmerising debut novel about two estranged half-sisters who find themselves entrusted with the formidable responsibility of safeguarding their family's extraordinary library of magical books. Together they must plan a treacherous journey to unravel a dangerous secret concealed within their ancestral collection. This promises to be a tale of loyalty and betrayal and the pursuit of magic and power. For generations, the Calate family has assumed the sacred duty of protecting a collection of ancient and rare books filled with powerful sorcery, granting the reader extraordinary abilities. Joanna and Esther, the half-sisters raised in reverence of this legacy, have been separated for years. Esther, haunted by the tragic fate that befell their mother, seeks refuge in a remote Antarctic base, constantly avoiding the deadly consequences of their lineage. Meanwhile, Joanna isolates herself within their ancestral home in the forests of Vermont, dedicating her life to studying and preserving the enchanted volumes. However, when news of their father's death reaches them, the sisters are compelled to reunite and safeguard their family's heritage. What follows is an atmospheric mystery filled with enchantment and supernatural allure that will transport the reader into a realm where magic thrives and danger lurks. The Housekeepers by Alex Hay comes on the 6th, and this is a historical heist novel that explores themes of power, gender and class as a group of daring women downstairs orchestrate a daring revenge heist against Mayfair's elite during London's grandest ball. Mrs. King, the extraordinary housekeeper of a prestigious Mayfair residence, is no ordinary servant. With a background rooting in the world of con artists and thieves, she has transformed herself into a pillar of respectability, overseeing the grandest home in the area. Behind the facade of opulence, however, lies a web of dark secrets waiting to be exposed. When Mrs. King is abruptly dismissed from her position, she channels her formidable skills and recruits a diverse ensemble of women to join her in seeking retribution. Among them is a black market queen driven by a desire to settle old scores, an actress yearning for a coveted role, and a seamstress longing for a better life, and Mrs. King's predecessor, harbouring her own secrets and thirsting for revenge. Their reckless plan takes shape on the night of the highly anticipated costume ball, the pinnacle of society's social calendar. They will execute a meticulously crafted heist to strip the house of its every treasure right under the noses of the distinguished guests and the enigmatic heiress who hosts the event. God, I'd love to be part of a heist, would you? Then also on the 6th, The Witching Tide by Margaret Meyer, a historical fiction with witches. In this debut, inspired by a harrowing witch hunt in the 17th century where innocent lives were tragically lost, the story unfolds in East Anglia in 1645, where Martha resides as a midwife, healer and servant in the tranquil coastal village of Cleftwater, having been rendered voiceless for over 4 decades. However, the peace of Cleftwater is shattered when a menacing stranger arrives. Silas Makepeace, a witchfinder notorious for his trail of destruction along the coast, sets his sights on this unsuspecting village. Fear grips the community as Makepeace's presence heralds a dark chapter in their lives. Within a single day, local women are captured and imprisoned, and Martha finds herself a helpless witness to the relentless witch hunt. Bound by silence, Martha is coerced into assisting the search for the dreaded devil marks on the accused women. Caught between suspicion and loyalty, she faces an agonising choice: protect herself or condemn her fellow villagers. In a desperate act, Martha resurrects a wax witching doll inherited from her mother, hoping it will serve as a shield. Yet the true extent of the doll's power remains uncertain, and Martha guards a terrible secret that could jeopardise her own freedom as the spectre of the gallows looms. The tale is told over just a few weeks, but it will forever transform the lives of those in Cleftwater. And this sounds so bloody good. You would not believe the amount of witchy books just like this that I own right now. I'm going to have to sneak this one into the house, I think. Also on the 6th, Suburban Hell by Maureen Kilmer. This is a comedy horror. In a quiet cul-de-sac of Chicago, Amy Foster and her newfound friends Liz, Jess and Melissa have forged a strong bond since Amy's move from the city. They formed their own little clique on the outskirts of the PTA crowd, engaging in witty banter and finding solace in their shared experiences. During their monthly wine gathering, the group hatches a plan to build a she-shed in Liz's backyard, a sacred space exclusively for their use and free from the intrusion of spouses and children. Excitement fills the air as they christen their newly constructed retreat. But their elation quickly turns to unease. Unbeknownst to them, Liz's seemingly innocent home improvement project has unleashed a malevolent force, transforming their tranquil enclave into a nightmare realm. As if contending with demonic activity isn't enough. No, they must also navigate the prying eyes of the Homeowners Association, which threatens to unravel their fragile peace. Even the calmest of mothers among them cannot ignore the strange burn marks, dolls moving on their own, and putrid odours that surround their possessed friend Liz. United by loyalty and friendship, Amy, Jess and Melissa must summon their courage to confront the evil spirit that has invaded their neighbourhood. Then on the 11th, it's Whisperwood by Alex Woodrow, a horror fantasy, another debut, but this time with eerie woodland survival guides, the macabre original Grimm Brothers stories and chilling folklore from around the world. Anna is on a journey into the depths of the untamed woods, a venture she embarks upon simply seeking respite from a violent past and the pursuit of her witch hunting ex. Drawn to the enigmatic Whisperwood, a town absent from any known maps, untouched by visitors and shrouded in secrecy, Anna believes that she has found the perfect refuge. However, tranquility proves elusive. Within this secluded community, the town itself seems to vanish mysteriously, its existence hanging by a fragile thread. A grotesque funeral rite sends shivers down Anna's spine, while an unforeseen emergency thrusts her into the role of a field surgeon. Yet she soon discovers that delving too deeply into the secrets of the forest may lead to dire consequences. Every step taken to investigate the enigma surrounding Whisperwood brings her closer to a haunting truth, one that could potentially claim her own life. The Beast You Are also comes out on the 11th, a horror short story collection by Paul Tremblay, a modern master of horror. It takes you on a journey into the depths of darkness with his gripping anthology. Within these pages you will encounter an assortment of monsters that will simultaneously terrify and fascinate you. These stories delve into themes of tragedy, love, loss and the supernatural. I am very much looking forward to returning to the world of A Head Full of Ghosts as Tremblay unveils new secrets in tales such as Red Eyes and the Postal Zone, the Possession edition, shedding further light on Mary and Marjorie's haunting narratives. I Know You're There follows a grieving man trapped in an eternal moment of heartbreak after an unexpected death of his husband, and a large man, the enigmatic Mr. C, embarks on a relentless pursuit of a gruesome murderer in league with rats. And within the confines of a sterile white room, a solitary individual engages in the last conversation, seeking to unravel the sinister secrets of their life with only a mysterious woman as their confidant. However, the crown jewel of the collection lies in the title novella, The Beast You Are. This mini epic weaves together destiny, myth, tradition and folk horror, tracing the intertwined lives of a dog and a cat who reside in the shadow of the monstrous Orn, a terrifying creature that returns every 30 years to unleash havoc upon their world. Sucker by Daniel Hornsby comes out on the 11th too, a vampire comedy horror that takes aim at Silicon Valley and the elite 1%, prepare to be captivated by a biting tale of power, deception, and the pursuit of immortality. Chuck Gross, the rebellious black sheep of an industrial tycoon, yearns to sever ties with his family's legacy. He distances himself from his billionaire father, a labour exploiter, weapons manufacturer, and climate change denier. Embracing his newfound identity as the self-made owner of a burgeoning punk label, Chuck believes he has finally found his place in the world. But when his father threatens to cut him off, Chuck is forced to confront the reality of his financial dependence. An old college friend conveniently resurfaces, presenting him with an enticing opportunity. Enter Olivia Watts, the acclaimed Harvard dropout and darling of the biotech industry. She promises nothing less than a complete revolution in medicine, an offering of immortality itself. Eager for a fresh start and enticed by Olivia's grand vision, Chuck eagerly joins her biomedical startup located in the sprawling Kenosis campus. However, as he delves deeper into the operations of the company, Chuck uncovers a disturbing truth. Secret laboratories, vanishing employees, and unnerving experiments confront him. Also on the 11th is Burn the Negatives by Josh Winning, an explosive blend of horror and suspense. The notorious slasher film that haunted a generation is about to be remade, and with it the malevolent curse that slumbers within. Journalist Laura Warren arrives in the heart of Los Angeles to witness the filming of a new streaming horror series. Little does she know that her journey into the world of the macabre is about to take a chilling turn. As she parks her car, a man leaps from a bridge, landing dangerously close behind her. In that moment, Laura realises that the nightmare has been reignited. The series she is reporting on is a remake of a notorious 90s horror flick, a film cursed with a dark legacy that has haunted her since childhood. In The Guest House, Laura portrayed the little girl possessed with a terrifying gift, the ability to foretell the gruesome murders orchestrated by the enigmatic Needle Man. As the cast and crew of the original film suffered untimely deaths mirroring the on-screen horrors, the movie became a cult classic and forever altered Laura's life. Desperate to escape the shadows of her past, she changed her identity, altered her appearance, and fled across the Atlantic. Yet some stories refuse to remain buried. The curse that has shadowed Laura's life will test the bonds of sisterhood and plunge them into a realm where nightmares become reality. Boys in the Valley by Philip Fracassi, the historical horror novel, comes out on the 13th. Welcome to St. Vincent's Orphanage for Boys, nestled in a remote valley in a turn-of-the-century Pennsylvania. Within these walls, under the watchful eyes of several priests, 30 young boys find shelter, purpose and guidance. Among them is Peter Barlow, who, having lost his parents to a gruesome murder, has forged a new life within these walls. As he nears adulthood, Peter has formed friendships and found hope for a future filled with promise. But one fateful stormy night, everything changes. A group of men seeking refuge arrives at the orphanage's door, one of them grievously wounded with occult symbols carved into his flesh. With his death, an ancient evil is unleashed, spreading its insidious presence like a contagious disease, infecting not only the physical space of St. Vincent's, but also the hearts and minds of its vulnerable inhabitants. The boys start to exhibit disturbing changes, forming fractions and taking sides. Tragically, some of them meet their demise under mysterious circumstances. Now Peter and those closest to him find themselves faced with a harrowing choice, pledging allegiance to one side or another, fully aware that their lives and perhaps even their eternal souls hang in the balance. Changing the mood on the 18th is a cosy fantasy by Jade Linwood. Charming is said to be the spirit of Shrek, with the revenge antics of John Tucker Must Die, all blended together with the charm of the Princess Bride. A story for all the princesses who are their own heroes. Meet Prince Jean-Marc Charming Arundel, also known as Prince Charming to both friends and foes. He possesses all the qualities you would expect from a fairy tale prince. He's handsome, well-mannered, courageous, and a master swordsman, and a shrewd strategist. But beneath the polished exterior is a web of lies, deceit and cunning. For years, Prince Charming has roamed from kingdom to kingdom, rescuing damsels in distress, wooing their fathers and securing his place in their opulent palaces. But once the sun sets, he disappears, leaving with their treasures and their hearts shattered. However, Prince Charming's luck takes an unexpected turn when he crosses paths with three of his former victims: the raven-haired Marie Blanche Dinage, the sorceress Dr. Emilia Rapunzel, and the long-slumbering Bella Lucia di Sogni. Their chance encounter sparks an audacious plan for revenge, blending the thrill of a heist with the comedic twists and turns of a workplace comedy. Picture 9 to 5, but with fairy tale princesses taking charge. In this whimsical and clever fantasy adventure, brace yourselves for a tale of bravery, resourcefulness, deception, and double-crossing. Prince Charming's true nature will be exposed, and his victims will seize the opportunity to turn the tables. Twisting, enchanting characters, unexpected allegiances, and the perfect balance of humour and heart. This is a story that will keep you captivated from beginning to end. Prince Charming's world is about to be turned upside down by the very women he underestimated. Again on the 18th, it's Camp Damascus by Chuck Tingle, a horror mystery thriller. Enter Rose Darling, a devout young woman plagued by an unsettling affliction. Incessant bouts of vomiting flies. As Rose grapples with her inexplicable condition and the desires stirring within Rose defy explanation, and her waking nightmares morph into unsettling memories. Little does she know that her journey will lead her back to Camp Damascus, the epicentre of her turmoil. In this searing and heartfelt horror novel, the demons faced by the queer community in America take centre stage. It delves into the heavy toll of hidden truths and the daunting quest for the courage to dismantle it all. The residents of Neverton, Montana, a seemingly idyllic town brimming with piety, confront their darkest fears. Behind the serene facade lies Camp Damascus, an insidious institution promising a path to redemption through gay conversion. But the dark secret propelling its so-called success is far from divine. Silver Nitrate by Silvia Moreno-Garcia is a historical horror mystery and also comes out on the 18th. This is the third book I've talked about recently that is dealing with cursed films, and I'm all for it. But isn't it strange, this trend? But what's this one about then? Montserrat has always been overlooked in the male-dominated film industry of 1990s Mexico City. Despite her talent as a sound editor, she's constantly overshadowed by the boys' club. Even her best friend Tristan, a once charming soap opera star, fails to see her true worth. Oblivious to the fact that Montserrat has been harbouring a lifelong love for him. Everything changes when Tristan discovers their new neighbour is none other than Abel Ureta, the cult horror director. Ureta claims to possess a solution that can transform their lives. His tales of a Nazi occultist infusing magic into highly unstable silver nitrate stock seems like pure fantasy. His elusive film, never completed, is the reason behind Ureta's sudden downfall. He insists he is cursed. Now Ureta enlists Montserrat and Tristan's help to film the missing scene from his film and break the curse. However, Montserrat can't shake the feeling of a sinister presence lurking in her shadow as they unravel the mysteries surrounding the unfinished film of the enigmatic occultist who once roamed their city. Montserrat and Tristan will discover that sorcery and magic are not confined to the realms of movies. Dark forces await, and they must confront them together to unveil the truth that lies beneath the surface. Ronald Malfi has a short story collection coming out on the 18th too. They Lurk is a collection of 5 horror novellas, 5 tales that will immerse you in a world of possession, parasitic entities and unspeakable horrors lurking just beyond the veil of darkness. Skullbelly, a forest holds a terrifying secret. The Separation, otherworldly forces haunt a boxer's downward spiral. The Stranger, a chance encounter plunges a man into a maddening ordeal. After the Fade, a tavern becomes a prison for patrons besieged by a monstrous entity. And Fierce, a mother and daughter survive a car accident on a snowy, desolate stretch of road. But that was the easy part to live through compared to what happens next. The last book to come out on the 18th is How Can I Help You by Laura Sims, a mystery thriller about 2 librarians whose lives are about to become dangerously entwined. In a small town library, an unassuming woman goes about her daily routine. Margot was once a nurse who was responsible for a string of premature deaths, but she escapes her past within the safety of the library walls. However, when Patricia, a recent graduate and aspiring but unsuccessful novelist, joins the library staff, she quickly becomes aware of Margot's underlying sinister nature. Fascinated, she begins to observe Margot very closely. An incident in the library's bathroom provides Patricia the way into Margot's secret, igniting her curiosity and setting her on a path to find out the truth. As Patricia's obsession with Margot intensifies, the boundaries between reality and fiction blur. How far is she willing to go as the treacherous allure of the truth collides with very real danger? A brand new Lisa Jewell comes out on the 20th, and I do love a Lisa Jewell thriller. None of This Is True is a new psychological thriller where a woman finds herself entangled in the gripping narrative of her own true crime podcast. Alex Summers, a renowned podcaster, is celebrating her 45th birthday at a local pub when she encounters an unassuming woman named Josie Fair who happens to share the same birthday. Intriguingly, their paths cross again a few days later outside Alex's children's school. Josie expresses her belief that she would make for a captivating subject in Alex's podcast. Drawn by curiosity, Alex agrees to conduct a trial interview with Josie, and it becomes apparent that Josie's life is far from ordinary. While Alex finds herself unsettling, the allure of uncovering the truth proves irresistible, compelling her to delve deeper into Josie's enigmatic existence. As the layers of Josie's dark secrets slowly unravel, she manages to insinuate herself into Alex's life and even infiltrate her home. However, the more Alex learns about Josie, the more she questions the true identity of this strange woman. Suddenly, Josie vanishes, leaving behind a trail of terror. Alex soon discovers that she has unwittingly become the subject of her own crime podcast, with her life and the lives of her family hanging in the balance. Who is Josie Fair? And what has she done? Another historical witchy book, The Revels by Stacey Thomas, also comes out on the 20th. Set in the turbulent era of the 17th century England, where aspiring playwright Nicholas Pearce finds himself entangled in a web of intrigue and danger. Nicholas's life takes an unexpected turn as he becomes an apprentice to Judge William Percival. The judge, a notorious former witch hunter, is now pressured to return to his dark profession amidst the divided land torn apart by civil war, where religious tensions between Catholics and Protestants, royalists and Roundheads run high, and whispers of witchcraft permeate the air once more. Nicholas harbours a secret that sets him apart, though. He possesses the extraordinary ability to hear the songs of the dead, unlocking their hidden truths. As innocent lives are put at stake, pun intended, Nicholas grapples with a choice that could have serious consequences. Will he find the courage to speak out against injustice and save those wrongly accused, even if it means risking his own safety? A brand new young horror writer, Chris Harmon, releases their debut short story on the 24th, Jitters, and this cover is what caught my eye. A chilling collection of 15 spooky short stories that will leave you trembling with fear. Join a group of kids as they confront the strange, the disturbing, and the downright terrifying. From a bone-chilling board game that takes on a life of its own, to an ominous robot costume with a sinister agenda, and even a haunting encounter with an eerie ice sculpture, these tales thrill and excite you. Chris Harmon showcases his passion for horror stories and movies as he tries to haunt your nightmares with his spine-tingling tales of teenagers on hair-raising quests and face evil lurking in the shadows. House of Roots and Ruin by Erin A. Craig comes out on the 25th. Book 2 in the very gothic Sisters of the Salt series, a tale of doomed love, menacing ambition, and the eternal grip of ghosts in this modern blend of gothic opulence, thriller and fantasy. In the shadow of a haunting manor by the sea, one sister remains cursed. Verity Thomas, a 17-year-old with dreams of adventure beyond the Salan shores, has been confined to her family estate, Highmoor, alongside her older sister Camille. While their other sisters have scattered across Arcania, Verity's yearning for something more remains unfulfilled when their sister Mercy sends word that the Duchess of Blaum, the wife of a renowned botanist, desires Verity's artistic talent to paint a portrait of her son Alexander. Verity seizes the opportunity. However, Camille vehemently opposes the idea, forcing Verity to confront a long-held secret. She is still able to see ghosts, unbeknownst to her. Stunned by this revelation, Verity escapes Highmoor under the cover of night, seeking refuge in Blaum. Enchanted by the opulent and alluring surroundings, Verity finds herself drawn to Alexander Laurent, a charming, witty and breathtakingly handsome young man. Against all odds, a romance begins to blossom. My God, it's dripping in gothic! But as Verity delves deeper into the twisted heart of Blaum, she becomes plagued by haunting nightmares and discovers the ominous underbelly concealed beneath its sickly sweet facade. Dark forces threaten to consume her, and the true nature of the curse that binds her family reveals its chilling grip. And the last one is probably the one I'm most excited for. This also comes out on the 25th, and it is Cruel Angels Past Sundown by Hailey Piper. I have my own copy pre-ordered. The cover looks amazing, and I literally cannot wait for this. Look at it. Look at it. This is a horror western, and I won't be saving this for June on the Range 2024. I'm reading this as soon as it's delivered in my grubby little paws. Horror westerns are a bit of a super niche subgenre, aren't they? Even more niche than horror sci-fi, I think. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god! Let me tell you all about it. As the sun sets over New Mexico territory in 1882, the Klein Ranch is visited by an enigmatic sight, a pregnant woman, unclothed and wielding a cavalry sabre. Annette Klein and her husband have cultivated a fragile harmony, navigating the complexities of their marriage and hidden connections, but tonight their tranquility will be shattered by a horrifying onslaught led by a cannibalistic demon and a deranged preacher. I love a deranged preacher. I cannot explain how much I need to read this book. In a desperate bid for survival, Annette narrowly escapes the bloodbath and seeks refuge in the nearby town of Lowes Bend. There she finds solace among a group of resilient individuals, an assertive barkeep armed with a shotgun, 2 pragmatic boarding room proprietors, and a captivating bounty hunter who has captured Annette's heart. However, the forces of hell continue to pursue her relentlessly. To outlast the night and emerge victorious, Annette must cast aside her notions of peace and mercy. She must confront a malevolence that an ancient, unforgiving, and more sinister than she could ever fathomed. A gripping tale set against the backdrop of the untamed West. Annette's resilience will be tested as she confronts a darkness that defies imagination. To survive until dawn, she must embrace her inner strength, forsake all she thought she knew, and confront an insidious evil that threatens to consume her. Prepare to be captivated by a story that delves into the depths of evil and challenges the very essence of mercy and peace. So that's it. What are you most excited for in July? Book or other? Is there a film, or your favourite band is releasing a new album perhaps? Or you have a subscription service that you cannot wait for? Let me know in the comments what you are chomping at the bit to spend your hard-earned cash on. Don't forget to like if you like this and subscribe if you want more. I upload one of these videos every month where I tell you about the books that I'm very excited for every month. I've created a playlist of the past new books of the month, which I will link in the description box if you want to see what other books I've talked about in 2023. But otherwise, make some good book choices this week, my friends, and I hope to see you all again soon. Until next time, bye bye.